The secret of those who manage to prosper after 45. Napoleon Hill. Most people believe success is a young man's game. They worship youth, speed, and overnight wins, as if greatness has an expiration date. But that belief is a lie sold by those who never found power within. The truth? Real success often begins after 45, not in spite of your age, but because of it. By then, the chaos of chasing fades, the ego quiets, the pressure to prove starts to die, and in its place, something more powerful is born. Clarity. Experience carves away illusion. Failure becomes fuel, and suddenly, you're not running anymore. You're choosing your battles, your standards, your values. By 45, you've seen behind the curtain. You've watched the loudest voices fall silent. You've seen trends come and go, and people rise fast only to crumble faster. You no longer chase applause. You chase alignment. You begin to understand that true wealth isn't just money. It's mastery of your craft, of your emotions, of your time. You've been burned enough to know what you'll never tolerate again. And that's not cynicism, it's discernment. The man who prospers after 45 isn't lucky. He's forged, tempered by failure, polished by pain. While others peak early and plateau, he rises slow, but he rises steady. At 45, something shifts. You stop living to impress and start living to express. You no longer need validation from the crowd. You've learned that the world's applause is fickle, and most praise is just projection. Instead, you measure your worth in silence, in how you sleep at night, in how deeply you trust your own decisions. The man who prospers after 45 isn't chasing trends. He's setting standards. He's not reactive. He's deliberate. Every move is rooted in wisdom, not insecurity. And that makes him dangerous in the best way, because he no longer plays someone else's game. He builds his own board. There's a calm that comes with age, not because life gets easier, but because you've stopped resisting what's real. You've buried dreams that weren't yours. You've walked away from people who drained you. You've failed publicly and survived. And in doing so, you discovered that failure doesn't kill you. Fear does. Fear of starting late. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of change. But after 45, those fears begin to lose their grip. You've already tasted disappointment, and you're still here. You've already rebuilt. Now, every new challenge isn't a threat. It's a test of how far you've come. And you're ready. At this stage, you start valuing peace over attention, silence over noise, depth over display. You stop rushing to speak and begin learning the power of listening. You observe more than you react. And in that stillness, you gain something the younger version of you never had. Control. Control over your thoughts, your emotions, your direction. You no longer chase outcomes. You engineer them, not by force, but by focus. You understand that energy is currency, and you spend it wisely on people, goals, and dreams that feed your soul, not your ego. That's how prosperity begins, with ruthless alignment. You stop mistaking movement for progress. In your younger years, you ran hard, chasing titles, chasing approval, chasing some imagined finish line. But at 45 and beyond, you realize the most powerful man in the room is the one who doesn't need to prove he belongs there. You begin moving with purpose, not urgency. You don't just act, you calculate. You don't just respond, you anticipate. And because of that, your steps echo louder than others' shouts. You're not the fastest anymore, but you're the most intentional. And that makes all the difference. In business, in relationships, in life. What you lose in youthful energy, you gain in strategic power. You start seeing patterns others miss. You sense motives before they're spoken. You read rooms like open books. That's not magic. It's mileage. Wisdom earned through trial, through failure, through years of sharpening your instincts in silence. And now, that wisdom becomes your edge. You stop wasting time convincing people. You let results speak. You no longer hustle for every opportunity. You attract them by the way you show up. Quiet confidence replaces loud ambition. And the irony, that's when the world finally starts listening. Because you're no longer trying to be seen. You've become undeniable. By now, you've realized that prosperity isn't a destination. It's a rhythm built on discipline, clarity, and ownership. You don't wait for luck. You create momentum by honoring your word, by keeping promises when no one's watching, by building brick by brick when others get bored and quit. The man who prospers after 45 isn't chasing freedom. He is freedom. Because he's owned his past, commands his present, and builds his future with intention. Not everyone will understand his path. And that's the point. He's not here to be understood. He's here to be unstoppable.